Welcome to Movie King. Today I'm going to talk about The Lost Patient. The Lost Patient is a French suspenseful thrill ride composed by Timothée Labouche and coordinated by Christophe Charrier. It follows the narrative of Thomas, a 19-year-old kid that stirs in an emergency clinic 3 years after the remainder of his family has been fiercely killed. After he enlivens, he is given oxygen. However, later in his emergency clinic bed, he sees a hooded shadowy figure go into his room. The baffling figure jumps on the bed and begins to choke him, yet this is rationalized as a fit of anxiety. The following morning, he is still in bed and welcomed by his clinician Anna, who makes sense of he has been in a state of extreme lethargy, and that she is there to help him. She makes sense of that his family was undeniably killed and Thomas had been cut, scarcely getting by, and there is likewise the issue of a missing sister. Together, they attempt to sort out the occasions that prompted the horrendous assault, and Thomas begins to have flashbacks. The Lost Patient has a secret at its middle, and it is actually this secret that will keep individuals took part in the story. Tragically, the actual film is somewhat of a gradual process, and that can be a hard sell on the off chance that it isn't dealt with the correct way. The Lost Patient depends on touchy music, a lot of downpour and rainstorms, and the in the long run irritating composition of his specialist. In a flashback succession, we see Thomas go into a vacant room while the voiceover says, "That is unusual, an unfilled room in the house." We can see that as of now much obliged, no information required. Loaded up with every one of the sayings that we ought to have continued on from at this point, the outcome is a shallow and unengaging view that frequently looks and sounds more like a computer game than a film. Scenes are hauled out, with loads of cuts of individuals simply looking irate at one another, and this prompts all the more a drama feeling rather than a high-idea wrongdoing spine chiller. As Thomas lies in his bed gazing at a break in the roof, I sort of knew how he felt. Thomas is going through physiotherapy in the emergency clinic, however again there are simply heaps of abnormal looks among characters, and the entire style that the chief is going for misses the mark on genuine strain or tension. At the point when the hooded man shows up once more, and Thomas is the one in particular who sees him, it is finished suddenly to such an extent that it comes up short on influence. As you would derive, there is a last venture win that the film is by all accounts exceptionally pleased with, however again the terrible pacing and sudden end result just add disappointment to the procedures, and it doesn't save the film in any capacity. A decent wind ought to be foreshadowed and indicated, permitting watchers to play the game alongside the cast, however the Lost Patient neglects to try and deal with that. Slow, wandering, and getting done with a subpar turn that offers essentially nothing to assist with hoisting what has gone previously. The Lost Patient appears to be excessively pompous, and generally tends to assume that a sharp completion will bring about watchers excusing its past careless activities, but for me it was sufficiently not, and everything felt strangely empty. So that's all about The Lost Patient. Thank you for watching.